going through Sniper Alley. Basically, we have to go at a fast speed to stop getting hit by a sniper, basically.
This is one of the most dangerous places on Earth, a sniper-lined street in Aleppo, Syria.
That was a bombing.
This brother's been shot by a sniper.
Oh. Okay, all right. Good. And we've followed this charity's journey there. 5 ambulances through 9 countries, pushing into areas most other charities don't go.
This is the future. Look at the smile. Come on, let's get going. Right, we're going.
Late night in Manchester. These ambulances are packed with medical supplies and food collected by the volunteers. The convoy leader is Kaz Jamil, a father of 3 who owns a taxi firm in Bolton. The rest of the 14 include Shamila Zulfikar, the only woman of the group, a doctor and mum of 4, and Majid, a credit advisor from Leicester and one of the youngest on the convoy. 25-year-old Adil Mahmood is a pharmacist from Halifax. Do you have any nerves at all?
Not at all, fairly relaxed. It's nice to have a break from work and go and do something that's real with your life.
That sounds a bit crazy to a lot of people, though, that you're not nervous, that this is a break.
What defines crazy? You know, is everyone else crazy who's living 9 to 5, paying their mortgages, having kids, and not worried about 70–80% of the world population that's living in dire poverty? I say that's crazy. This
is one of a number of smaller charity missions going to Syria, independent of the big aid agencies. They head first to Dover, but they face an early setback.
Welcome, Sam. How are we doing, Abdullah? You're still getting searched?
One ambulance is stopped by counter-terrorism officers.
The police are just searching the vehicle, and now they're searching the individuals.
The group do face suspicion that they're going to Syria to fight.
It's names, beliefs, in terms of your religion, it's where you're going. When it happens all the time, it could feel like harassment. You can understand if they're doing their checks, that's fine, but taking your phones off you, taking your emails off you, what can you do?
A2, stay in your lane, A2, stay in your lane.
It's estimated more than 100 Britons could be fighting with the opposition in Syria, and the evidence suggests many get there under the cover of charity missions. How do you make sure that everyone's coming for the right reasons?
If Joe Bloggs off the street says to me, I want to come, he'd have to know somebody we knew, he'd have a face-to-face interview, they'd check the Twitter, they'd check the Facebook, etc. Nothing's 100% foolproof. As long as we do our checks and we're satisfied, you know, everyone's vetted.
So it's day 3 of the journey and we're in Switzerland. This is one of the ambulances on the convoy. It's packed all down this side with medical supplies. You've got needles, boxes and boxes of painkillers down here. This is where 4 people are sleeping, so it's very cramped. And if I just take you through to another one of the ambulances on the convoy, this is number 2. At the back here you've got more medical supplies, dried food. Majid, Adil are sleeping in here, so it's very cramped in here as well.
This is the last leg before, you know, the real journey starts.
The group are all British, of Pakistani, Bangladeshi and Indian heritage. They see it as a duty to help other Muslims like those in Syria. Have you thought about the prospect of people getting hurt or killed?
Yeah, I think every humanitarian thinks of the worst, especially when they're going into Syria. At the end of the day, you take precautions. Nobody's going in there to get hurt. You could argue that if you were going to die, that could happen quite as easily elsewhere. I'd rather it be something meaningful.
This nasheed, an Islamic song, is played throughout the trip. It's called I Weep for Syria and details the country's suffering.
Allahu Akbar.
There are 8 days of travel, driving in shifts, keeping spirits up at endless service stations. And one member of the group is turned away by police before they enter Turkey.
Come on guys, Syria's calling!
Finally, they reach the Syrian border. This is where they enter a war zone. The convoy heads on without us. They're about to take huge risks, and we could put them in further danger. They head first to Adana, just over the border, and they're filming everything on mobile phones.
Priceless, it's priceless. We get out of the vehicles, we're just handing the sweets out, and they were just loving it. They were loving it. You see the smiles on their face. They're coming up to us, like trying to become our friends. They were little children. What's your name? Where are you from? Thank you very much for the sweets. Really appreciate it. And you know they appreciate it.
4 of the group then push into Aleppo. The dangers are so severe here that few foreign aid agencies are operating. This final journey takes them to the front line.
We went out with one of the hospital ambulance drivers and he knows the entire area. Some parts were a bit hairy.
More than a bit hairy.
Yeah. We ended up not very far from some of the front lines where there were snipers that were sat.
Assad's regime on the left-hand side. Hazim, come back!
To actually be in the thick of it, it was a little closer than I would have liked to have been. We've ended up in this back street where there are snipers on each
Side street.
every side street, every junction in the road. If I just turn this around, there are huge sheets that have been put up to try and avoid any snipers being able to see past. Survival instincts just get through the situation and get back to what we were trying to do.
Dr. Shamila here is stitching up a young child.
We managed to deliver the aid to the hospitals that were receiving a lot of the casualties from this front line.
This brother's been shot by a sniper. The sniper bullet has exploded inside him and it's caused a lot of pieces of his bone to snap, break. We're going through the back alleys of Syria, Aleppo. We're going through Sniper Alley.
The team tear through sniper-lined streets to get between hospitals.
Stop getting hit by a sniper, basically.
You're kind of going in there in a slightly kamikaze fashion and really pushing it.
If it's written for me to die there, that's why I'm going. You know, that is not what I want to do. You know, I've got children at home, I've got family at home, but at the end of the day, if the world was doing what it's supposed to be doing, I wouldn't have to risk my life and do this.
An airstrike hit this place.
The whole mission's a risk from the start. Thing is, there's no point getting all the way into Syria and giving stuff to where it's not needed. For example, in Aleppo, where we went this time, they've not had aid for such a long time.
Nothing but total carnage.
In one hospital, they find 7-year-old Mohammed.
There was a tank that went and blew his house up. His mum passed away and his brother passed away. He had both his legs blown off. His new family are all the doctors.
This is the future, look at the smile.
Really, we've not done nothing. These people inside Syria, they live through that every single day. We really need to help these people big time. We need to help them. We have to help them.
Everyone makes it home safely. The convoy plan to return to Syria next month.